Once you get your white band, you want to start working on your stripe. There's 8 things on the stripe. It's listed here on the band system flowchart, as well as shown here in a video on the iPad. Once you get your stripe, you can start preparing to test for level 2.
One of the things you need to be able to do for your stripe is a pull-up. With the pull-up, it's one of those things that you want to be consistent with. As I tell the kids, strength is earned, not learned. So we can't just tell you how to do a pull-up and all of a sudden you can do as many as you want. You have to work at it. You have to earn it. The pull-up is one of the harder pieces of the stripe, and it's probably the one that most keeps people from getting their stripe. With the pull-up, we want to make sure we're having our hands facing away because we're trying to build the strength to be able to climb up on a wall, and you cannot reach through a wall and grab it like this. We want to start all the way down, and we want to work on pulling all the way up and then going all the way back down. That's one pull-up. Don't pull, get to the top, and then let go. For level 2 test, you have to do 2 pull-ups. So you have to go up, down, and if you're dropping halfway through your pull-up, you're not able to do another pull-up. One of the things you want to make sure you're not doing while doing the pull-up is what's called a chicken neck. You don't want to get to the top and just struggle to get your head above and extend your chin and go above. You're straining the muscles of your neck, which isn't good, but you're also not setting yourself up to be able to do what's called a muscle up, where you pull and get up on top of the bar. What I like to tell people to do is actually tuck their chin and try to get their eyes or nose above the bar. Tucking of the chin is actually going to engage your muscles here, which is not only going to protect your neck, but it's going to make you stronger. So I tuck my chin, I pull, and I try to look above the bar, and then I go all the way back down. The next progression, if you're unable to do the full pull-up, is to do the chin-up. The chin-up is going to be a little bit easier. It's going to help build strength for the pull-up, but allow you to do a little bit more if you can't do anything with the pull-up. The chin-up is nice because your shoulders are already in a locked position, which makes you a little bit stronger. But again, it's that same thing. Hands facing towards me, all the way down, tucking my head, pulling all the way up, all the way back down. The next progression is the negative. With the negative, you're going to start above the bar, tuck your chin, and then try to lower as slow as you can. You'll eventually get to a point where you can't hold it any longer. With the negative, you're building that pulling strength. You're going through that same motion, but with an easier progression. Another progression is the jumping pull-up, where you're using the momentum of your jump as you're going up to grab the bar and pull above. I like to combine the jumping pull-up with the negative. So again, as I'm jumping, I jump. As I'm on my way up, I grab the bar, I pull. You want to use the momentum of the jump and grab the bar on your way up and pull, and then lower nice and slow. So we don't want to just jump, hang, and then pull. You want to jump and on your way up, grab the bar and pull, and then lower nice and slow to get that negative aspect as well.
Another progression is the inverted row. With the inverted row, I'm going to find my chest on the bar, place my hands next to my chest, and then I'm going to walk my feet forward so that only my heels are on the ground. From there, I want to keep my elbows nice and close as I lower myself and keep everything in a straight line as I pull my chest to the bar. We want to avoid any kind of pulling your belly, pulling your face. Don't want your arms to go out to the side. Keep them nice and close. Pull to that chest. Another strength exercise for the stripe test is 5 incline push-ups. We want to be able to build the strength of once we're on top of a wall that we're able to push up to get on top. With the incline push-up, we're going to find our chest. From there, put my hands next to my chest, and then I walk my feet out. I stay in a straight line as I look down in between my hands, and I push straight up, keeping my elbows as close to my sides as possible. We want to avoid any flaring out of the elbows. We want to avoid hinging at the elbows. So keeping our elbows nice and close to the side, moving back at about a 45-degree angle without flaring out, without hinging. we're wanting to build the strength to be able to do 5 push-ups on the ground, which is part of the level 2 test. One of the things I see a lot of is not having a tight core. You want to think about pulling your belly button back towards your spine, squeezing your butt cheeks together to maintain that straight core as I rotate my elbows forward, arm goes back. Right? You want to avoid any of this action or of this action. Look down in between your hands. As soon as I look up, I already start to go into that sagginess. So if I think about looking straight down, whereas if I look up, I automatically start to sag my midsection. If I look down, think about tightening my belly button, squeezing my butt cheeks, and then lowering myself. I look up, my butt starts to sag. So if I think about looking down in between my hands, rotating my elbow pits forward, tightening my belly button and my butt cheeks, as I lower, my arms go back at a 45-degree angle, I can go down and up. I suggest that you have somebody film you when you do this so that you can see how you actually look. A lot of times you don't realize you're doing something incorrectly or even correctly until you see yourself do it on film. With the 15-second half cat hold, first off, what a half cat looks like, I want to do my best to get as much of the bottom of my foot on the wall as possible. I'm trying to stand on the wall while having my hands here as well. So half cat looks like this. For the 15 seconds, we require that your butt is nice and high and your knees are above the ledge. If at any point in time during that 15 seconds they drop below the ledge, it's no longer passing. What helps with this is making sure I get as much of the bottom of my foot on the wall as possible so that I'm utilizing my feet and actually trying to stand on the wall. Something that will help you be stronger is the same thing we did with our push-up. We want to make sure we're locking our shoulder in. So I'm rotating my elbow pit forward. If my elbow pit is here, my arms bend and then I'm relying more on my muscle. And it also is really hard on my shoulder. If I lock my shoulder in, now I'm stacking my bones, which is stronger. And this is a much safer position for your shoulder. This is building the strength for being able to get up on top of a wall once we've climbed up. The climb up is utilizing the combined strengths of the pull-up, the push-up, and the half cat. The pull-up, the push-up, the half cat. With the 15-second cat hang, the cat hang looks like this. My arms are going to be straight. My feet are going to be together on the wall at about the same level as my butt. Feet together, knees open, arms straight. It's very similar to that table position that we have on the ground, except it's on the wall. The closer I am to the wall with my chest, the better my grip is. This is 100% grip. But I'm not able to use my legs. The further I get away from the wall, the less grip I have. So in order to utilize my legs but stay as close to the wall, I want to make sure my feet are together, my knees are bent, and my butt sinks in. Again, trying to get me as close to the wall as possible so I have a good positive grip. For the test, you need to be able to hold that for 15 seconds. It's this strength here, which is a strength we don't typically work during the day. We don't grab things like this. We got finger strength, we got grip strength here. This is a little bit different. So again, creating this strength to be able to hold onto a wall so that when we're climbing down, we're not slipping off and falling backwards onto our butt or onto our head after we get down from our climb down. With the step vault, you need to be able to do a left-handed step vault and a right-handed step vault. What we're looking for is that you're creating a window with one hand and your opposite foot. You're utilizing the entire box so that your window is nice and big for your other leg to fit through. So one hand, opposite foot, I'm going to thread my other leg through that window. We want to make sure our hand and foot stay on the box until our other foot touches the ground, and then we're stepping out. What I like to say with the step vault is that we are stepping on, stepping through, stepping out. What we want to make sure that we avoid is kicking our foot off. So from here, I don't want to break the window because I'm landing on 2 feet and I've lost my momentum. We also want to avoid stepping around the window because now I'm facing the wrong direction. With the step vault, we're trying to maintain our momentum. We're trying to keep our chest as level as possible. We don't want a lot of up and down. So as I'm approaching this, even though this is a lower box for me and I could probably just jump over it, I'm maintaining this levelness with my chest. So I'm stepping on, stepping through, stepping out. As opposed to if I jump over it, I'm going down, up, down before I move forward. So it's a lot of wasted energy and not a quick, efficient movement. So as I'm approaching the box, one hand, opposite foot, stepping on, stepping through, stepping out. With the foot that's threading through, I want to make sure my toes are pointed in the direction that I'm going. Not only is this going to be safer on the knee as it bends, but it's going to be a more efficient movement keeping me going straight. I don't want to step through and have my foot face the wrong direction. Not only is this not how my knee bends, but now I'm faced the wrong direction. As we do this, we're going into it straight, we're coming out of it straight. My hand, the fingers are pointed in the direction I'm going. If I turn my hand, I can start to turn on my way out. For the stripe, we're looking for you to enter in straight and exit out straight. My hand, my fingers direct me where I'm going. So if I'm wanting to go straight, they will point straight. I can direct myself with my fingers. So if I want to go that way, I can point my fingers that way. For the purpose of the stripe, we're looking to move straight. As an example, if I am turning, my hands are faced that direction. When I step through, my momentum is that direction. My knee is faced in the direction of my foot in the direction I'm going. It's a little bit more than what they need to know. But pulling that back, if I'm going straight, I want to make sure that my hands, feet, knee all move in that straight direction. Not only to keep me safe, but to make it as efficient and quick as possible. A climb down is used to be able to get down off of something that is high in a safe way. Now, even if you have the ability to jump down safely, the climb down is ultimately going to be the safest. With the climb down, we're going to utilize the step vault, the half cat, and the cat hang. 3 other things that are on the stripe test. I'm going to start in a slip position. With the slip position, my feet are together and halfway off the box. Again, feet together, halfway off the box. If they're not off the box, they can get stuck as I start to try to move them. With them halfway off the box, I can remove my foot easier. Now with this, as I'm lowering to get into my step vault, I want to make sure I'm bringing my butt cheeks to my heels, not my chest to my knees to put my hand down, because I could fall forward. As I'm putting a hand down, I want to bring my butt cheeks to my heels. My foot is going to come off before my hand touches. If you look at that positioning, it's the step vault. It's one hand, opposite foot. I'm stepping through that window. So again, slip position, butt cheeks to heels. If I'm putting this hand down, this foot comes off and it comes off before that hand touches. I'm gonna move towards my hand. I'm gonna rotate towards my hand to go into that half cat position. Again, standing on the wall. From here, I lower to my chest, and then I slide my chest off to get into my cat hang. If I sit my butt cheeks to my heels and I lose balance, I'm just gonna sit back and be in a nice safe position. If I bend at my hips and bring my chest forward to put my hand down, if I lose balance, I can fall forward. We wanna make sure we're going into a squat. So we don't squat like this, we squat like this. So same idea, feet are together halfway off. If I'm putting this hand down, this foot comes off before I put this hand down, my butt cheeks go to my heels. I put my hand down, I turn towards my hand. Now I'm in that half cat position, feet are standing on the wall, shoulders are locked out. I do a negative dip, put my chest on the box, And then from here, I slide off to get into my cat hang. Arms nice and straight. Feet at the same level as my butt. One of the things we want to avoid is taking our foot off after we put our hand down. If I'm all the way down here, this is harder for me to take my foot out and I risk falling forward. Key thing is to remove the foot before I put my hand down. I can do it right away, or I can do it closer to the end. We just want to avoid getting in the position where I have a lot of weight here and I can't get my foot out and I risk falling forward. Another piece that we see once they put their chest down is they come back up. And then when they go down, there's too much power to hold on. We don't want to try to go to our cat hang from here. We want to make sure we put that chest down and slide it off as I walk my feet up to get into that cat hang position. The transition from the half cat, chest on the box, to the cat hang is the hardest part of the climb down. We do not want to use our butt. Whenever we're doing obstacles, it's only hands and feet. We want to try to avoid sitting down. Now, if you need to sit down to keep safe, that's totally fine. But in order to pass for your stripe, you're not allowed to use your butt. As you're getting comfortable going into your climb down, you can sit down. So you can practice feet together halfway off, squatting down, taking a foot off, going to your hand, sitting down, and then turning towards your hand to put your chest down to go into your cat hang. But during the actual test, we want to avoid sitting on our butt, hands and feet only.
One of the challenges that I give kids is 3 rail squats. You can squat on a rail. That shows that you have an understanding of what it takes to be able to balance on a rail. The rails are always set up here on the ground during free time for them to practice on. What we're looking for is that they're able to balance 2 feet together, facing forward for 10 seconds, facing sideways on 1 foot for 10 seconds, and then facing the other direction on the other foot for 10 seconds. Looking for control. As someone's balancing for that 10 seconds, it's less about the time and more so showing the coaches that you know the idea of how to balance. So if you balance like this for 30 seconds, that doesn't mean anything to us. What we're more so looking for is that you understand how to maintain the balance and that you can be in control. If you're in control and you start to lose balance, you should be able to just step off the rail and show that you're in control. Again, working at doing this at height. If at height I completely fall off, that's not good. So it's not just about maintaining being on the rail for 10 seconds, it's having the understanding of how to remain on the rail in a controlled way. If I need to, I can just step off in a controlled fashion. The idea behind the balancing is that if you're jumping to a rail at height and you cannot balance on top of it, that's not going to end well. So with practicing balance, it's setting up being able to land and stick a rail precision. The sideways balance is utilized for when you're walking on a rail. It's a 1 foot balance to a 1 foot balance. The 1 foot balance is the easiest way to balance on a rail. So if you break it down to its simplest form, and instead of thinking about walking across, you just think about a 1 foot balance to another 1 foot balance. You can squat on a rail. That shows that you have an understanding of what it takes to be able to balance on a rail, specifically within that movement within the knees. Now, when we squat, our chest is up, we sit back. Same idea on a rail. We don't want to get on the rail and then bend on our hips to touch and then come back up, right? We want to think about keeping our chest up. As I lower, I have to move my knees backwards and forwards to keep that chest straight up. Having the understanding of what movement my knees need to make so that I can go into that squat is really beneficial from knowing how to land, stick, and balance on a rail. The level 2 test is being able to make your way across this. So the stripe is setting up being able to do the level 2 test. The better you get at the 2 feet to 2 feet balance and the 1 foot and 1 foot balance, the easier it will be for you to do the 2 foot to 2 feet, balancing across, 2 feet to 2 feet, test on for level 2.
The most important thing that we're looking at with the Launchpad to Launchpad Precision is the landing. Again, a precision is stating that it's the precise area that you're landing, giving it the precise amount of power. Another skill on the stripe test is the Launchpad to Launchpad Precision. It combines jumping, landing, and sticking. With the Launchpad to Launchpad Precision, you're going to be doing it at your height. So you're going to lay down on the ground with your feet on one launch pad and your head at the other launch pad. Jumping from one to the next, keeping my feet together, landing on the edge and sticking it. To quiz the kids, and I'll do a jump and landing and they tell me whether or not that was passable. So an example, again, I stuck my landing, I landed on the edge, but my feet aren't together, so that wouldn't count as passing. My feet are together this time, and I stuck it, but I'm not on the edge, so not passing. So that time I landed on the edge, my feet were together, but I didn't stick it.